Welcome to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Content Development for JGA, and I am joined by our Executive Director, Carol Backhouse, today. Carol, this is going to be a fun one. I'm excited about this.
Absolutely.
So today we have friends who do podcasts, and when I listened to some of what they do, and they were talking about simple luxuries, which kind of got my wheels turning. And I thought, okay, we can talk about what our simple luxuries are. And I'm not talking about like booking a trip to Hawaii or, going on a shopping spree or so, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking the simple things every single day that just kind of keep you going. So one of the examples in this podcast was having a Diet Coke in a glass, an actual glass, like something that's made of glass with some ice in it. And how that's a simple luxury that kind of just keeps her motor running. Right. And I was like, it's so simple. It works. It just is. It's what works for her. So I thought we can translate that here. And there's got to be some simple luxuries in day-to-day life.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially we lose that, like I watch my kids and they're able to do that on the fly all day, every stop and smell the roses kind of thing, but as you get older, it's like you just get sucked into the day to day, and it's hard to stop sometimes and say, you know what, I really enjoy this one thing. And especially for me, like it has to fit into my day to day for it to happen,
Right.
it has to be natural, because if it's forced, like by day two, it's
It's
not a
over.
thing anymore, even it brings joy, so yeah, no, I love that topic. I'm excited to see what everyone else will chime in and share with us.
Yeah. And that's kind of the idea here is like, we're going to talk about ours. And then we're hoping that we're going to post this to social media. So Facebook and Instagram, and maybe some other places, we'll see. But putting them out there and having you guys chime in about what your simple luxuries are. And it can be anything. I mean, everybody's so different that I just want to see. And I think it might be inspiring for our community too, to see like, there may be something small that they could fit into their day to bring a little more joy, because joy is so important. It's life is short and it's fast, and bringing joy to your daily experience is so important. So that's kind of why we're talking about it. I know, Carol, you said you find joy in a lot of things, and so we have to pick out the one thing or the two things, right?
Yeah, it's I guess I'll share a little bit. So I'm very lucky in the sense that we live in a very beautiful area. We have mountains and hot air balloons and
Yeah.
little path with like birds everywhere. And it's really stealing that 15 minutes early morning. Everyone is still sleeping, and going out before 6 o'clock and doing even a 15-minute walk towards the lake, looking at the mountains, hearing the birds, and really just starting the day with that kind of meditative walk, I
Yeah.
guess, and really taking it all in, and then coming back and starting the day strong. And one thing I discovered through COVID quarantine is that I really enjoy birds. I've never noticed them before. Life was just hectic. We were never
Yeah.
home, and then we were forced to be home, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these beautiful birds. So
Yeah.
that's another thing we as a family like to do, is like we keep an eye on which birds are in our yard today and what are they doing. And it's like this simple thing that just
Yeah.
stops you, and often we have to Google what kind of bird they are. We're not expert at, but it's really nice, and just these little snippets of
Yeah.
outside and being one with nature is really helped me find my inner self.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's just the simple things. I'll second that. We took the boys just last weekend there's a lot of walking trails nearby, and a lot of like open space areas, but they're big fans of the local goats and sheep that come out. And every year they do it for mitigating the weeds in the area for fire prevention where we live. We live outside of Sacramento. And so it's a big deal. Like we find these goats and sheep for months on end to go see them, but they love it. It's like their jam. But we were walking around and I thought, this is so beautiful. There was a bridge and there was a creek, and there, it was just nice to be outside, and they were loving it. Everybody was happy and kind of quiet. And I was like, this is great, So enjoying what's around your home and being able to get outside and get everybody's little bit of exercise and, feeling like we're getting our bodies moving. And then conversely, to the other side of that is once everybody's asleep at night, these two little ones finally decide that they're going to go to sleep for, at least a little bit. But taking those few minutes and whatever that looks like, whether it's watching something like garbage television for a little bit that, most people don't even want to admit that they watch, or, we have a new puppy, right? She's 7 months old now, but she's like, she'll sit with us and she wants to be, take her quiet time with us. And I've really enjoyed that. She's like this little old lady and trapped in a puppy body. It's so funny. She's so mellow. And so I sit with her and she just is, she's very sweet. She's just the sweetest. So that's been a really fun little treat. Sometimes it's a little like sweet snack or a glass of wine or nothing at all, some water and some quiet. And it's just quiet.
That sounds so good. I made a mistake and bought like a whole box of microwave popcorn from Costco.
Oh, yeah.
So like we'd be sitting and finally our kids don't sleep, but the 1 hour we get when everyone is in bed for at least a little bit, my husband says like, popcorn. I'm like, let's do it.
Like, yes, isn't it funny though? Yeah, it's just funny to see like what just makes things work, right? And it's simple pleasures that I don't know. To me, it's just a nice way to decompress a little bit, whether it be in the morning or you find a few minutes. I have girlfriends who are like, I take myself grocery shopping in the car by myself, turn the music up, play whatever I want because nobody's asking for kids bop, and we go down the road, and that's like their simple luxury is being able to do it that way. So it's different for everybody, and I'm so excited to hear, what everybody has to say too.
Oh, absolutely. And, maybe we can include some of theirs in our day to day, and kind of take it where we can.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. So, take a listen to this. Thank you for joining us for this one. And we're going to post it, like I said, to Facebook and Instagram, and we'll be asking for your simple luxuries too. What is it that works for you? That might work for somebody else too. Might want to create just a few minutes of peace and joy and keep life happy too. So thank you all for being here with us as always. Carol, thank you. You're awesome. It's fun to share these things. It's, you get a window into everybody's world. And we will be back in, every other week we put out one of these fun little podcasts. So if you ever have topics, things you want to talk about, that's kind of like this idea, like simple luxuries or other things, we've been getting some really cool ideas from our community lately. So please send them to us. Let us know. But if you want to hear the rest of our podcast, they're on Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube for translation services, on our website. There's so many ways to watch. So
everywhere.
Watch and listen. Yeah. So tune in, and we thank you guys for joining us. Carol, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye. Enjoy those simple luxuries, everybody. See you next time.